Welcome to Finding Joy, top tips to break through barriers and experience the genuine happiness that you deserve. So now we've decided we're going to get joy. We're going to get some joy. Another barrier, our mind. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to get more joy. I'm going to start taking care of myself. But I have a lot to do. But I don't have enough time. But there's always a but. We're going to get rid of the but. Let's look at how our mind impacts this picture and what we can do about it. We are each gifted in a unique and important way. It is our privilege and our adventure to discover our own special light. 1 in 400 trillion. You were put on this earth to do something magical. Here you are. But then something happens. So you have your true self. You have your instincts. You have your insides. You have what you were meant to be, what you were meant to do, what you were meant to experience. And then something happens to us. So your true self gets made fun of by other kids or gets punished. Like my mom punished me for being a talker, right? Sending me to my room if I got too active or if I talked too much, I always got punished for it, right? Teachers did the same thing. I got sent to the hallway because I talked too much. I mean, this is what happens. So you start getting a message that your true self is not okay, that there's something wrong with you. You maybe have some special thing you were meant to do on this earth, and you're not doing it because of something somebody did in the past or said in the past. And the problem is those get in that emotional center of our brain. Repeat, and then it becomes it becomes me, it becomes a part of me. And so to protect my true self, who I am in my natural gut, I develop a persona. I develop somebody to protect me. Brene Brown calls it armor. I develop my armor. I don't care what anyone thinks, that kind of thing, right? But there's also another famous self-help book I can share with you by Crowley. He talks about this, that he actually labels the different personas we can make, but I'm not going to get into detail with this 1 2-hour presentation. I decided to keep it more streamlined, but I'll send you the resources. But basically, you have this true thing inside of you, what you were meant to do. And then negative stuff starts to happen with you. So here I am, I'm about 13 years old and I write a paper. I'd had this pretty traumatic experience. We lived out on a farm 12 and a half miles, and my mom and I were the only ones home. And my mom got a call that her father had passed away. So my grandfather, she just cried and she screamed and she went in her room and she fell completely apart. And I was 13 years old and I was home alone, and it was really impactful. And I went walking outside and it was dark and the light was shining through the trees from the house. And I watched the shadows and I felt very eerie inside and very alone as I took deep breaths and thought about how is my mom going to be? I felt chills. I didn't know how was I going to be? I had so many mixed feelings in that moment. So here we're supposed to write a paper for school, and I wrote a paper on it. And I was really, really actually into writing this paper. I was surprised because I had started to drop out of school already, drop out of the learning at school. But I really got excited about this. So I wrote this paper and I turned it in and I got it back and I had a C on it. But I had felt so strongly that I had written just from this inside place that was so neat. I really did feel that way. And so I went to the teacher and I said, can you tell me what's wrong here? What mistake did I make? And she said, well, I don't know. Let me take a look at it. I'll get back to you tomorrow. So the next day she comes back. She says, this is terrible. I don't even know why I give you a C. I should have given you a D. You will never be a writer. You're a terrible writer. And she gave the paper back to me. I was so embarrassed. Oh, I went to my, sat at my desk. I was just like, oh, even thinking about this as I was developing this presentation made me start to tear up. It was a hard moment. But what I decided that day is I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I can't write. I'm not going to write because of what one teacher told me when I was 13 years old. I'm Fast forward years later, I'm at the Rochester Area Foundation. I'm working with Sheila Cascade, former senator, hires me on as an expert in early childhood, wants me to partner with her to help First Steps do some great things in the community. She says, I want you to write an early childhood article for Rochester Women Magazine. What? No, I can't write. You can write. No, you don't understand. I can't write. I'm not good at writing. I can't write an article. You can write. Have you seen your emails? What do you mean my email? I mean, I was so confused. Like, who is this person telling me I can write? She said, I will help you. You will be okay. You have a lot of great things to say. And I know that you'll be good at this. So I did it. It was so hard, you guys. It was so hard. But they ended up hiring me to write that article for 2 years. So I could do it, right? I really could do it. I needed some help, serious help. But what that one teacher said held me back from doing something maybe I was meant to be. I was meant to do. Maybe I was meant to be a writer. That was my true self. But no, I let it go, right? I left it behind. So are any of you thinking of something that you had happen? Don't share it right now. But can you relate to this? Go ahead and there's a little raise your hand button. Raise your hand if you can relate to. At some point, you can remember something happening that made you go in your shell, that made you get your armor. And I not only dropped, a lot of you guys can't see, but everybody's raising their hands. I mean, we have this, right? This thing that got us, that helped shape who we are or didn't end up becoming. What happens then is those neural connections in your mind, they get wired together. I can't write. She told me I can't write. I know I can't write. So I'm not a writer. So I feel embarrassed if I have to write. I feel like I'm not even going to try because I'm not good at it. And then I start taking action. So I don't go to English class. I don't apply myself. I don't write the paper. And then my results are I never passed an English class, not until college. I had to learn English in my 20s. So I still have bad grammar to this day. I'm trying, but I'm not great at it. Okay, so here I am. I'm a young child and I have an opinion and I want to say it. And the adult in your life says, children are to be seen and not heard. Your opinion doesn't matter. You do it because I say so. I don't want to hear any guff from you. You guys still sound familiar? So we hear that as a young child. We decide my opinions don't count because they don't to the outside world. But maybe inside you had a really great message, but now you're going to shut it down. Then you have thoughts. Nobody cares what I think. My ideas don't count. So then I have these emotions, sad, resentful, unloved. So then I take action. Maybe I don't show up. Or maybe I go to a group and I just sit quiet. And I don't say anything because my opinions don't count. Maybe I start looking at my phone because my opinions don't count. And then what happens? People don't ask my opinion, which therein refortifies that belief that my opinions don't count. And so it becomes this armor to keep us safe, but it's going to defeat us. It defeats us in the end. It teaches other people how to treat us. So we have to change the script. This happens with young kids too. You know it does. If I believe that young children should just obey and follow directions, then I have thoughts when they misbehave, like this child is obstinate. It says abstinent. Make a note, Krista, so I changed that word on there. Typo. Naughty, unruly. They're doing it just to get me. And then I have emotions. I'm resentful, frustrated, angry. And then I take action. I threaten. I get in a power struggle with them. I punish them. And then the child acts out. The child feels angry. The child feels revengeful themselves. And guess what? I get what I expect. I get what I expect. So this, if you've ever heard of this, it ends up being what they call the law of attraction. So it's a fuzzy thing. Some people think, oh, the movie The Secret and different things came out. People think, oh, it's all this hooey. No, it's not. It's really basically you're putting out an energy to the world, messages out to the world of what it is you're expecting, and the world is giving it back to you. That's it. You give it out and the world gives it back to you. So we have to change the script. We have to, because we're teaching people how to treat us. So a lot of power. And now you're a childcare provider, you're an early childhood teacher. You guys have an impact on what these kids are going to develop. If they're going to get this thing in their head that helps drive their person, their soul, a different direction than it was meant to go, or you're going to help them become their true selves. Yeah. So we have our true purpose, our 1 in 400 trillion purpose, and then something gets in the way.